r/EntitledParents. This story happened when I was still a teenager. I was at school during May, and I was walking home and listening to my music from my iPod Touch. Remember those? It was starting to get hot when I decided to stop at a nearby restaurant because my school is 2 miles away from my house. I walk into the place when I see this woman. Ep gives a real dirty look at me and says something to her kids, but I just ignore her. I order a smoothie and look over to Ep, and she is nowhere to be seen. I just see her kids sitting at the table. So I walk over to one of those tables and sit down, and then someone takes my chair and I fall to the concrete ground. I feel an awful pain in my left hand to see that it was dislocated to the right side. Part of my bone was about to break my skin, and actually that's enough details. I look up to see Ep clearly having the chair in her hand. And these weren't the normal kind of chairs. They were the kind of chairs that were tall. And to make matters even worse, my iPod hit the ground, shattering the screen, and my arm got cut. Ep, I needed this for my kids. You did that to yourself. Me, what I said next contained a lot of bad words, so I'm just going to translate it. Why did you think that was a good idea? You broke my wrist. I'm in pain on the ground, clutching my wrist, with blood coming out of my right shoulder. From the iPod Touch screen I fell on. Some woman who was also there was helping me. Then the cashier comes to the Ep. See, cashier, miss, we are going to have to call security on you. The restaurant was at a small mall. Ep, I'm innocent. He fell by himself. I needed this for my kids. Right now, some employee in the back called an ambulance. See, everyone here clearly saw you take the chair from under him. The woman who was with me helped me get up and walk outside. Ep starts to stutter, then look around. Then she just started running. C starts to follow her and just barely gets a picture of her license plate. Completely unaware that she left her purse with her ID and children at her table. I watched her get into her car, which was parked into a fire lane, no parking, and speed off. The ambulance eventually came, and they put my wrist into a cast and put a bandage over my shoulder. When I told my parents, they were mad. The police found this woman in less than half an hour because she got pulled over for speeding not even 10 minutes after. When they caught her, she denied that she did anything. One look at the security camera and Ep was obviously lying. Not only did she lie to a police officer, she was put on trial for not only assaulting me and trying to run away, but because in her car was drugs and alcohol. I forgot how much she was fined because I put it aside for high school and college, but I'm pretty sure it was a lot. There kinda is a happy story to this. For Christmas, my parents got me an iPhone because Ep never paid for the iPod. Moral of the story: don't be a dumbass, or you'll be used for karma on the internet and be in prison. Backstory: I have an egg allergy, so every time my family and I go out to eat hibachi, we have to get my order cooked in the back because the chef that cooks for everyone else puts an egg on the grill to cook the fried rice. The characters: entitled mom M, entitled daughter Ed, my aunt Ma. The story: one night Ma and I went to a hibachi restaurant, and if you ever been to one before, you know that you get seated with other people around a stove. When we went this time, we were seated with someone eating alone, a family of 3, and M in addition. Everything was going as usual. We got our drinks, ordered our food, and right before the chef starts cooking, they clarify if our food is correct. So when he gets, he asks, your food is in the back, right? I say yes, and in the corner of my eye, I see him make a confused face. I didn't think much of it because I was just a little kid. A few minutes passed by and everyone got the rice made by the chef other than me. When I see my food coming, the waitress hands me my egg-free rice and shrimp. As I grabbed my fork to dig in, I see Ed make an upset face and then whispered something to M. Although it made me uncomfortable, I was hungry and started to eat. Maybe a minute later, I hear a voice say in a rude tone, could you wait for everyone else to get their food before you start? It is very rude of you. I look up and I see M and Ed staring at me. M then says, it is bothering my daughter that you have all your food and we only have our rice. At this point, I was confused, so I just said I'm okay. Ma then told me it's okay, you can eat. So I resumed eating. M did not like this. She started screaming. I asked if you could wait for everyone else. What makes you so special that you get your food before us? I could tell that all the other people at the table were also uncomfortable. I look at MA, and she looks at me and then says my nephew has allergies and has to have his meal cooked on a stove without eggs on it. M red in the face with rage then exclaims, bullshit, you just asked them to cook it in the back so he could get it before everyone else. MA was left speechless because of the disrespect. MA has had enough and asks for the check. As we are leaving, M is still yelling at us, but I couldn't tell what she was saying because I was sobbing out of the embarrassment. I'm still in disbelief to this day on how rude M was. Anyway, thanks for reading. Subscribe or I will sob from embarrassment.